Welcome to the Global Pulse, a short video series where our experts break down a trending topic in international business and why it matters to you.
August has been a very consequential month for trade policy. For a long time now, economists have been warning about the effects of tariffs on the economy. However, the man or woman on the street would be forgiven for thinking that things really aren't that bad. The economy is humming along well, inflation is tame, and the sky didn't fall. So was it much ado about nothing? I don't believe so. For one, many of the tariffs had been delayed. Second, there have been many exemptions, such as pharmaceuticals and aircraft. So if you look at the effective tariff rate as of end June, they're not as high as the announced rates that made headlines earlier this year. The effective tariff rate is the actual tariff revenue collected divided by the total value of imports. For the world, this was at 8.9% at the end of June, which is still an increase from approximately 2% in January. The effective tariff rate for China is much higher at about 38%, but only 4% for Mexico and 2% for Canada. There's another reason consumers have been shielded from price increases. US companies have been absorbing much of the tariffs. This is partly because they stockpiled inventories in anticipation of new tariffs. In addition, no company wants to be the first to raise prices because they risk losing market share if others don't follow suit. So all in all, consumers were largely protected from price increases. Then in August, lots of things happened. The reciprocal tariffs went into effect. The real eye-popping numbers are Brazil and India, where the tariff rates are set at 50%. Reciprocal tariffs were delayed in the case of China, where the aim is to give more time for negotiations. Last Friday then, the de minimis exemption ended. This was the provision in law by which parcels containing goods worth less than $800 were exempt from tariffs. When things settle down, by some estimates, the effective tariff rate will be about 18%. So, will foreign exporters absorb the tariffs? There's little evidence so far to suggest that import prices are declining. Moreover, major US companies have suggested that they'll soon be forced to pass tariffs along to customers. So I suspect price increases are coming soon. Rounding out the month of August was a very interesting meeting of the leaders of Russia, China, and India in Tianjin. This is a reminder of how trade wars can spill over into geopolitics. While the US was not directly mentioned, American trade policy certainly provided the background for what's happening there. China's President Xi Jinping called on the leaders gathered there to seek integration, not decoupling, and to unequivocally oppose power politics. The optics of the friendly exchanges between Xi, Putin, and Modi was surely meant to send a message to Washington. Moreover, Mr. Putin will be visiting New Delhi soon. New Delhi was particularly stung by the 50% tariffs, presented as punishment for buying cheap Russian oil. The fact that other countries were buying energy from Russia gave the impression that India was being singled out. Some commentators have suggested that President Trump was piqued at Prime Minister Modi's reluctance to acknowledge that he engineered the end of hostilities between India and Pakistan in their war earlier this year. India and the US have also been at an impasse in trade negotiations over dairy, fisheries, and farm products, and this could be an effort to force concessions. So far, India has not signaled a willingness to concede either on Russian oil or farm products. While talks continue, India, like many other countries, is shoring up old alliances and seeking new friends. This is in part a negotiation tactic, but also insurance in case the relationship with the US spirals out of control.